Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to York Chats with the Stash. I am Austin the Stash. Joining me now is Ben Rodenborg of the York Police Department. Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Austin. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited for you to be here, especially on Halloween week. I'm sure a busy week for you.
Oh, there's always something going on, but the whole month's been pretty busy thus far. So,
when we think about like Halloween, it's pretty prank heavy day, historically speaking.
Yeah.
Now it's also become more of an adult holiday as well when it comes to like parties and that sort of stuff. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween safety, both for kids and for adults as well. Because, everyone needs to be safe on Halloween when who knows what could happen.
Absolutely.
So I really kind of want to, my dad was a police officer while I was growing up. And so he always talked about his least favorite holidays to be on duty were Halloween and New Year's Eve. Those were his two least favorite. Kind of talk about what your experience has been like being a police officer during Halloween time and on different holidays.
Well, I've been a police officer for 14 different years, and I've worked for 3 different cities during that time. Halloween hasn't been a terrible one. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of pranks and shenanigans that go on.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is pretty good-natured. Sometimes people like to put up their Halloween decorations, obviously, and they get creative with those to a point where we get called sometimes and have to talk to people about, hey, that's not a real body in your yard, right? No, man, it's not. It's all good. And, it gets old when you get called to the same house 3 different times because you got to go check it every time to make sure they didn't replace the decoration with something less decorative at the time. But Halloween's a good holiday. It's a fun holiday. Like you said, there's a lot of adults that go out and have fun and get to kick back. And there's still a lot, especially here in York in our community. The kids are actively involved in the community. And we've got, things like Trunk or Treat. And there's the treat on the trails that we've got. And the churches do things. And the other years we've done downtown trick-or-treating or Haunt at the Holtis. And the whole community comes together a lot to support just the kids and everybody in our community. And it's a community event centered around a ad hoc holiday. It's not even a real holiday, but it's a holiday. So
sure.
So we have a good time. And
yeah, absolutely. I'm new to York and new to what all York does, and so
welcome.
Thank you, appreciate it. It is pretty crazy how much of a community York is on with different holidays, and with all the stuff you said about just Halloween. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff available for people to go do. Let's talk about Halloween safety when it comes to trick-or-treating, and what are some myths, what are some true things to look out for, because of course the first thing that everyone thinks of when you think of Halloween safety is razor blades in the apples and needles in the Snickers, like someone's handing out drugs. What's the reality, and what are some of what should people be looking for?
Well, so in my years of experience, I've never had to go to a call where some kids found a razor blade in their apple or a needle in their Snickers bar or something. Doesn't say it doesn't happen. Those stories have to come from somewhere.
Sure.
It's just best practice, though, especially I'm a parent. I got 2 kids. Check your kids' candy. They go trick-or-treating, and the temptation is just to scarf down whatever you get and have a stomachache the next day and be riding that sugar high.
Yeah.
But part of what I do here, especially during the month of October, is I coordinate a lot of safety presentations for our area schools and daycares and things like that. And one of the things we talk about with the kids is, hey, some trick-or-treating safety. Part of that is, hey, let mom and dad check your candy. We talk about, sometimes people are cheap and they try to use old Christmas candy or things like that. But in reality nowadays, there's so many allergens and things in candy that kids can be allergic to. And a kid might not know they're allergic, or something that mom and dad don't want them to have. And sometimes, you get that candy bar and it's like, this one's been opened, or something's going on with this, and you just throw it away. Discretion being the better part of valor there. And I think parents have done a really good job about just keeping an eye out on things and anything that's kind of out of the ordinary, chucking. There's the homemade popcorn balls that Grandma makes and stuff, and you're gonna run a gamble on that. But if it's your neighbor lady that made them, and you're like, I know her, we see each other in church on Sundays and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty okay. And York's a great example of a small town. I mean, we're a decent sized town, but it's still got that small town atmosphere where, when I go take my kids trick or treating, they know 90% of the people we talk to because we go right in our neighborhood. And that said, there's some good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods, and I'm not going to throw the people on Duke Drive under the bus, but they got the full-size candy bars up there. So, check those, make sure they're good, but they usually have a pretty good stock up there. Some of the other stuff we talk about just safety-wise is, when you go to somebody's house, you're going to strangers' houses sometimes. That's the scary part of Halloween. We talk about stranger danger and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Goes out the window when they hand you candy.
And then we're going to people's houses. And from what I've seen, because people come to my house, go to the cop's house. They got good candy, supposedly.
That's what I hear.
We don't hand out donuts, but in today's economy, we can't afford that. But a number of parents, they'll stand back at the edge of the driveway. They send their kids up, and that's fine as long as your kids kind of know what to expect. But it's startling for me or for anybody when a random kid goes running into your house and you open the door and you're like, oh, hang on, man, I got dogs or, I got whatever's out. My house isn't the cleanest all the time. Like I said, I got kids at home.
Right.
And I got 2 big dogs. So, mom, dad, going up to the front door with your kids, yeah, absolutely. Make your kids say, trick or treat, happy Halloween, thank you, all that stuff. That's great. But just making sure you're present and part of it, because some of that, just the family atmosphere of Halloween is, the memories is I'm going out with mom and dad and my friends and going trick-or-treating and stuff like that. The other thing we talk about, like I said, I got critters at my house, and there's always dogs and cats running loose, and everybody wants to pet animals. And what I tell the kids when I talk to them is I got 2 dogs. So I got one dog who's kind of mean and one dog who's pretty friendly. If you come to my house and you pet my mean dog, you get bit, then you got to go to the hospital, right? And that's no fun for you. It's no fun for me. It's no fun for anybody.
Yeah.
The hospital doesn't have candy is what I tell the kids. And maybe York General does. I don't know. But, you don't want to go up there. But
listen, I've seen prices at a hospital before. I don't know what they're charging for.
They can afford the candy. They can have the king-size candy bars.
Exactly.
Right. But just being cognizant of, hey, ask, can I pet your dog? Because I'm going to let you pet my dog if you ask. But one of them is not very nice. And so he gets locked up anyways. But just being aware of that. And then we talk about, not going to people's houses and not getting into strangers' cars, even if they got the best candy in their cars and things like that.
Always important.
Walking on the sidewalk or on the side of the street, not walking down the middle of the road, looking for cars both ways, things like that. Just some general safety stuff, especially because it's nighttime, taking a flashlight with you and just not running around crazy because you're on a sugar high.
Right.
And just being safe while you're out and about. That's specifically for the kids. On the flip side for adults when you're out driving around, because you remember when we would go trick-or-treating, they'd dump you off in a corner like, we'll see you in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yep. Head on out. All right, this is this neighborhood. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. Nowadays, they go and they hit up like 3 blocks, and then there's mom or the suburban way, and you load up, and then you go down to the next golden area in town, and there's some parts of town that don't get hit at all. And I'm telling you guys right now, that's where the good candy's at, the people that don't get a lot of visitors, because they're going to stock you up on what you want, and then you got snacks. So,
yeah, they aren't a take one piece kind of place. They're a, man, you might be the only people we see tonight here.
Right. Let me fill your bag. And,
exactly.
I'll tell you, though, just as a fun aside, like I tell the kids, if you come to my house or any officer's house in town and you're dressed like a police officer, you're probably going to get extra candy.
That's genius.
Represent, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. I love it. So a lot of these tips are aimed at kids and making sure that they're safe when they're kind of on their own. For parents, it is so important for them to communicate expectations with their kids.
Absolutely.
Like, that kind of seems to be the theme of what parents can do to prepare their kids, is have a conversation with them beforehand.
Right. And then, it's those rules of, I have these rules tonight, but for those kids, it's not just the rules on Halloween. It's, hey, these are our expectations in our household. Your kids know what your rules are, and they're going to follow them when they're out there. And so if you have those clear expectations, then they're going to be polite, and it's going to be a positive trick-or-treating experience for everybody.
Absolutely. See, it's not that hard, right?
No.
Trick-or-treating, Halloween, is going to be a good, fun, safe time for everyone. Even if the teenagers happen to grab some toilet paper and
Oh yeah, that's. I don't like the toilet paper. I mean, if you're going to go to your neighbor's house or your buddy's house and do it, then just be prepared to clean it up the next day.
Exactly.
Fork their lawn or something like that. But
I always thought the forking of the lawn was worse. I don't know why. Like toilet paper, at the very least, like it's decorative, like to a certain degree. Forking the yard. I always would miss one or two, and then I'd have to hear about their
the mower.
That's exactly it. And it's a problem.
So. And the rain, you get the one-ply toilet paper, but
right.
We've come out of COVID now.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's plenty of toilet paper to be had.
To go around. So very nice. So parents, talk to your kids. Kids, be ready. But and just because strangers are handing out candy doesn't mean that all strangers are nice. So be sure to stay on your toes. Stay with the group. That's always important.
Absolutely, stay with the group. And one of the things I tell the kids is it's our secret that we tell. And we talk about secrets, and you can tell mom and dad but we talk about the secret. Where all the good candy is whoever's got their light on outside their house.
Yes.
That's the signal. Hey, we got candy.
Yeah.
If their lights off, some people don't celebrate Halloween. Some people. They've run out of candy, or they're not home, or they've got kids that are in bed. And there's nothing worse. I had a toddler at one point. When you come ring my doorbell and wake up my kid, I'm not going to be happy about that. You ain't getting the good candy in it. So just go away. Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
But you talked about teenagers, and that's it's kind of a falsehood. Like, teenagers are too old to trick or treat, right? You hear that all the time.
You hear that all the time.
But at the same time, I love when the teenagers come to my house.
Yeah.
If they're out trick-or-treating, they're reliving some glory days from their childhood. They're not out causing panic and pandemonium in our community.
For sure.
Or running around like gremlins. They're out having fun. And absolutely, I'm going to give you candy. We're going to talk. We're going to see what's going on and send you on to the next house. And if I can send you down the street to harass my buddy Jeff, then I'm going to do that.
Absolutely. I love it, man. It sounds like you guys have done your best to let the kids know, hey, this is the way that it should go. It sounds like it's going to be a very happy and healthy Halloween here in York.
That's our hope. And the community's really come up there, because back in the day, you had to go trick-or-treating night of, right?
Yeah.
Now you've got the trunk or treats, and it's the treat at the trails and things like that. So there's kids that don't go out trick-or-treating at night because it's dark out. There's some inherent dangers there because they've loaded up on candy on Sunday afternoon. We had 4 officers out yesterday at different trunk-or-treats around town, handing out candy to probably 800 different kids, I think was about the number I calculated. So hooking them up.
That's right. Absolutely. Ben Rodenborg of York PD, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Absolutely. I'm glad you had me, man.